How is a website not ADA compliant? Well, I have three bullet points on the whiteboard. And looking at the first point, we have the best practices for ADA compliance for websites. And that is WCAG 2.1 AA conformance, along with a conspicuously posted accessibility statement. Now, WCAG stands for the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, and these are technical standards for web accessibility. And the version that we're looking to is version 2.1 and conformance level AA. So with this version and conformance level, there are basically 50 considerations or things to do for accessibility that we want to account for. And if we have any issues on our website, we want to resolve them. Now, this is best practice, but it isn't necessary for compliance. What is the actual standard under the Americans with Disabilities Act is the meaningful access standard. So here we're asking, is our website meaningfully accessible? Here we can have a technical argument whether or not our website is accessible, because this is a rather general standard and it doesn't explicitly tell us what is required. The best way to determine ADA compliance in this current legal landscape is to look at what the plaintiff's lawyers are naming in their complaints, because in a way, the plaintiff's lawyers are really the ones enforcing the Americans with Disabilities Act, because they are the ones who are initiating litigation against website owners who they allege are violating the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so when we look to the complaints filed in court by these plaintiff's lawyers, we typically see 15 accessibility issues named over and over again. So if your website has any of these issues, particularly the 10 most claimed issues, then your website may not be considered ADA compliant by the people who are initiating litigation. So that's what we would want to resolve. We want to take care of these 15 issues first. So getting back to the original question, what are the top issues that these plaintiffs' lawyers are looking for? Well, missing alt text is commonly named as an issue. And this is the number one issue by far. So you definitely want to make sure that you are taking care of alt text descriptions for any meaningful images. And you definitely want to have alt text descriptions if you have any linked images. And then if you have decorative images or images that don't really add anything to the content, then you'd want to have an empty alt attribute. And there are more details to that. But the point is that is one accessibility issue that is commonly focused in on. Another is missing form field labels. And I am referring here specifically to the programmatic labels. So let's say we have a sign-up form and it's asking for the name and your email. And the problem is that programmatically the form fields are missing labels. Then this also commonly shows up in complaints filed in courts. And then another accessibility issue that plaintiffs' lawyers frequently claim is keyboard navigability. And so with keyboard navigability, we want to make sure that our website is fully accessible by keyboard only. Without using a mouse, we should be able to go to every interactive element on our website. We should also be able to make selections. We should also be able to change quantities. So engage with the various functionality on our website. The point here is that our website is fully usable by a keyboard, but these are some accessibility issues that can very easily lead to litigation. And there are more accessibility issues. As I said, it really comes down to about 15, and occasionally there are a few others, but mostly litigation centers around 15 issues. And these issues are what I cover in my ADA compliance course. In this course, I tell you the 15 issues, the order in which I would prioritize fixing these issues. And then I also tell you how to find these accessibility issues on your website and how to fix them on your website. So your developer can go in and know exactly how to fix these different issues. So when we ask the question, how is a website not ADA compliant? I think this question is getting at, how do I make sure that I am not sued over website accessibility? Or if I am sued, how would I know if my website wasn't ADA compliant? Again, we're getting now into these very technical arguments. And because there's an asymmetry in favor of plaintiffs' lawyers, we usually see these cases settled. And when I say asymmetry, what I mean is that for a website owner who is sued, this is a very unsettling situation. But for plaintiffs' lawyers, this is built into the infrastructure of what they do. It is no big deal for them to file a complaint against someone But the way to avoid this, the way to reduce your risk of litigation is to know what these 15 issues are and then prioritize these issues by the most commonly claimed issues and then work down through in that chronological order so that you're reducing your risk of litigation as you are genuinely improving the accessibility of your website. And the ADA compliance course is available at adacompliance.net. I will include a link in the description.